Have you ever stood in your own kitchen and suddenly felt unsure on your feet? Or forgotten why you walked into the room? For millions over 70, these moments are the first quiet signs that independence is slipping away. But what if it doesn't have to be this way? In this video, we'll uncover the 5 most common things silently stealing your freedom, and more importantly, how you can fight back starting today. Have you noticed changes in your health or habits lately? Tell us in the comments. We're listening.
Have you ever looked around your home and suddenly felt like it's not as easy to move around as it used to be? Maybe the stairs feel steeper, the floor feels harder, or you hesitate before reaching for something high up. It's not just in your head. After 70, certain things start quietly stealing your independence, not all at once, but little by little. And if you don't notice it or fight back early, those small things can turn into big limitations. But here's the good news. You can take back control. You can keep your freedom, your confidence, and your ability to do the things that matter without relying on someone else. Let me ask you something. Have you ever skipped a walk? Not because you didn't want to go, but because you weren't sure if your legs could handle it that day. Or maybe you stopped driving at night because your eyes just don't adjust like they used to. These little decisions, the ones we brush off as getting older, are actually warning signs. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. The 5 most common things that slowly chip away at your independence after 70. And more importantly, how you can push back. Let's start with one of the most overlooked thieves of independence: muscle loss. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't suddenly wake up weak one morning. But as you get older, your muscles naturally start to shrink and weaken, especially if you're not actively doing something about it. This process even has a name. It's called sarcopenia, and it begins earlier than most people think, sometimes in your 60s. By the time you're 80, you could have lost up to half the muscle mass you had when you were younger. Now think about what that means. Muscles are what help you stand up from a chair without using your hands. They help you carry your groceries. They keep you from falling when you miss a step. So when those muscles get weaker, even everyday tasks become harder. And before long, you find yourself depending on others for things you used to do without a second thought. But here's the powerful part. You can reverse it. You can build muscle even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. And no, you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. You just need consistency. A few minutes a day of simple strength exercises like chair stands, leg raises, or lifting light weights can make all the difference. Start small. The next time you're sitting in a chair, try standing up without using your hands. Do it again and again. Every time you do, you're telling your body, "I'm not done yet," and your body listens. Now, let's talk about something that's a little less obvious, but just as important: isolation. You see, losing your independence isn't always about the body. Sometimes it starts in the mind. After 70, it's all too easy to become more withdrawn. Friends move away. Family visits less often. Maybe you stop going to community events because it's too much effort. And slowly, silence becomes your new normal. But what happens when you spend too much time alone? Your confidence shrinks. Your motivation drops. You stop pushing yourself to do things. And the world starts to feel smaller and harder to navigate. Now here's the truth. Human connection is a form of strength. It keeps your brain sharp, it keeps your emotions balanced, and it gives you a reason to keep showing up for yourself. So how do you fight back against isolation? You take small steps to stay connected. Call a friend, even for 5 minutes. Join a walking group or a senior center activity, even if it's just once a week. Start a habit of saying hello to your neighbors when you step outside. These may sound like tiny gestures, but they send a powerful message to your mind. You're still part of the world. And here's something else to remember. When you connect with others, you also get information. You hear about new resources, new exercises, better routines, or helpful services that can support your independence. Staying social doesn't just feel good, it keeps you informed. Now, let's talk about something most people don't think about until it's already become a problem: vision and hearing. Have you ever felt nervous walking into a new restaurant because it's too dark? Or maybe you avoid driving in the rain because everything looks blurry through the windshield. That's not just inconvenient, it's a serious threat to your safety and your independence. The same goes for hearing. If you can't hear clearly, it's not just hard to follow conversations, it also makes the world feel more confusing. You might miss warnings, instructions, or the sound of danger. And over time, that confusion leads to frustration, then to withdrawal, and then to isolation again. The fix? Get your eyes and ears checked regularly. Don't wait until you're struggling. If glasses or hearing aids are recommended, use them proudly. They're not signs of weakness. They're tools that keep you strong. And if you already wear glasses or hearing aids, ask yourself, when was the last time they were updated? Are they still working as well as they should? A small adjustment can make a huge difference in how confidently you move through the world. You see, independence isn't just about what your body can do. It's also about how you feel doing it. If you feel unsure, off balance, or disconnected, you're less likely to take action. And that hesitation is how freedom begins to slip away. But every time you choose to act, every time you stretch, stand, call someone, or check in on your health, you're putting a brick back in the foundation of your freedom. So, what's next? What's the next sneaky thing that threatens your independence, and what can you do to stop it?
It's something so common, many people shrug it off as just another part of getting older. But the truth is, it can quietly take over your life if you let it. I'm talking about medications, or more specifically, the way multiple medications can start to work against you without you even realizing it. You might have one pill for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, one for sleep, maybe something for pain, and before you know it, you're taking 6, 7, or more pills every single day. It feels normal. Your doctors prescribe them. But here's the problem. Not every medication works well with the others, and sometimes the side effects, like dizziness, fatigue, constipation, or confusion, can be worse than the symptoms they're trying to treat. And what happens when you're dizzy or tired all the time? You stop moving. You stop going out. You stop trusting your body. That's how the cycle begins. And slowly, one quiet pill at a time, your independence gets chipped away. Now, this doesn't mean you should stop your medications. Please don't. But it does mean you should take control of your list. Sit down with your doctor or pharmacist and go over every single pill. Ask if anything can be simplified, combined, or even removed. Sometimes just lowering a dosage or switching brands can make a huge difference in how you feel day to day. And if no one has ever done a full medication review for you, ask for one. You have the right to understand exactly what's going into your body and how it's affecting your ability to stay active and independent. No one else is living in your body. You are. And how you feel matters. Speaking of how you feel, let's talk about something that affects every part of your health and yet often gets ignored: your sleep. Have you noticed your sleep isn't quite what it used to be? Maybe you fall asleep just fine, but then wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and can't get back to sleep. Or you toss and turn all night and wake up feeling like you never really rested. It might not sound like a big deal at first, but poor sleep does more than just make you tired. It makes your brain foggier. It slows your reflexes. It drains your energy, weakens your immune system, and even raises your risk of falling. And what happens when you're tired day after day? You cancel plans. You skip your walk.
You avoid errands. You stop doing the things that make you feel strong and connected. That's how sleep quietly steals your freedom. Not with a crash, but with a quiet fade. So how do you fight back? First, respect your sleep. Create a routine that tells your body it's time to wind down. That might mean turning off screens an hour before bed, dimming the lights, doing some light stretching, listening to calming music, avoiding caffeine and big meals late in the day, and maybe, just maybe, going to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. If pain is what's keeping you up, talk to your doctor. There are ways to manage pain that don't always involve more medication. Sometimes, simple changes like a different pillow, a warm bath, or light movement during the day can make all the difference in how you feel day to day. And if your mind races at night, try writing down your thoughts before bed. Even just 5 minutes of journaling can help get worries out of your head and onto paper, where they're easier to manage. Because here's the truth. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's one of your greatest tools for staying sharp, strong, and independent. Now, let me ask you something a little more personal. Have you ever felt like you're losing touch with who you are? Maybe you used to paint or garden or play music. Maybe you volunteered or hosted family dinners or traveled every summer. And now those things feel like distant memories. Not because you don't care, but because somewhere along the way, life shifted, and you started focusing more on getting through the day than actually enjoying it. This, right here, is perhaps the biggest threat to your independence. Not your legs, not your balance, not your eyesight, but the quiet fading of your sense of purpose. When we stop doing the things that make us feel like ourselves, we stop fighting for the life we want. And that's when we start giving in. To age, to fear, to limitation. But guess what? You are still you. That part of you that loves beauty or laughter or music or helping others, that part didn't disappear. It's still there. It might be quieter now, but it's waiting. And it's time to bring it back. You don't need to climb a mountain or write a novel. Just start small. Plant one flower. Cook one favorite recipe. Call someone who lifts your spirit. Volunteer 1 hour. Paint one stroke. Sing one note. Move one step toward the life that lights you up, and you'll feel it. That spark, that strength, that reminder that you're still here and your story isn't finished yet. Because when you have something to wake up for, something that matters to you, you move differently. You speak differently. You take care of yourself differently. And suddenly, independence isn't something you're trying to hold on to. It's something you're living every single day.
And that brings us to a truth that many people shy away from, but it's time we face it head on. Aging doesn't mean fading, it means evolving. You've lived through decades of change. You've overcome challenges. You've built a life, touched other lives, and gathered wisdom that no book can teach. That doesn't disappear at 70 or 75 or 85. If anything, that's when it becomes even more valuable. But here's the thing. In this season of life, independence doesn't come automatically. It's something you choose every day. With every step, every decision, every time you say, I'm going to do this for me. And yes, there will be days when you're tired, or when something hurts, or when it feels easier to just stay in bed, or say no instead of yes. But those are the exact moments where independence is built, not with grand gestures, but with quiet, steady action. Think about this. You don't need to run a marathon to stay strong. Walking to the mailbox counts. Doing a few stretches while the kettle boils counts. Choosing to move your body instead of sitting all day, that counts. You don't need a crowd to stay connected. One phone call, one shared laugh, one deep conversation, that can feed your soul more than a room full of people. You don't need perfect sleep every night to feel rested, but creating small habits that give your body a better shot at rest, that can transform your energy. You don't need to eliminate every medication, but understanding them and choosing to take an active role in your health, that's powerful. And you don't need to go back in time to find your purpose. You just need to listen to the quiet voice inside that says, I still matter. I still have something to give, and I still want to live this life fully. Because here's what's really at stake. Independence isn't just about walking unassisted or driving a car. It's about choice. The choice to live on your terms, to decide what brings you joy, to keep growing, learning, exploring, no matter what the calendar says. And yes, it takes effort, but that effort is worth it. Every time you stand up instead of staying seated, every time you reach out instead of turning inward, every time you decide to be proactive instead of reactive, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. So if you're listening to this right now and thinking, but I don't even know where to start, that's okay. Start small. Choose one thing. One habit to build strength. One step to reconnect. One question to ask your doctor. One quiet moment to breathe, to rest, and to remember who you are. This isn't about fighting age. It's about embracing life fully, boldly, honestly. You've earned your independence. Don't let it slip away without a fight. Not because you're afraid of needing help, but because you know you still have so much life left to live. And that life, it's waiting for you. Not somewhere out there, not in a memory, but right here, right now, in this moment. So take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Straighten your back and say it with me, quietly or out loud. I am not done yet. Because you're not. You are here. You are capable. And you are never too old to take back your power, your purpose, and your life. Here's to you, walking your own path, in your own way, free, strong, and independent. Always.
And now that you've reminded yourself just how capable you really are, let's talk about what happens when life throws a curveball. Because it will. You might wake up one morning and something feels off. Your balance isn't quite right, or your joints ache more than usual. Maybe you forget a name, or feel a little lost in a conversation. These moments can feel scary, like you're slipping, like something important is being taken from you. But I want you to remember something. One moment does not define you. One bad day does not erase all your progress. And one change, even a difficult one, does not mean it's all downhill from here. In fact, those moments are when it matters most to keep showing up for yourself, to take a breath, to pause, and then to take action. Because when you take action, no matter how small, you remind yourself that you still have control. Let's say you notice your balance isn't what it used to be. That doesn't mean you stop walking. It means you start practicing. You hold the back of a chair and do a few heel raises. You work on standing on one foot for a few seconds each day. You talk to your doctor about a fall prevention plan. These small steps, done consistently, are what help you stay upright, steady, and safe. Or maybe you've been forgetting more names lately. Don't panic. Don't tell yourself you're broken. Just get curious. Are you sleeping enough? Drinking enough water? Are you mentally stimulated each day? When was the last time you did a puzzle? Or read something new? Or had a conversation that challenged your thinking? Your brain, just like your body, needs exercise. and you can absolutely sharpen it, at any age, by giving it the attention it deserves. And yes, maybe your joints hurt. Maybe your arthritis is creeping in, and getting out of bed takes a little longer. But that doesn't mean you give up movement. It means you find ways to move that feel good. Gentle walks, chair yoga, water exercises. These aren't just nice-to-haves, they are the very tools that keep you independent and mobile. Here's what it all comes down to. You are not powerless. You are not helpless. And you are not too old to make a difference in your own life. You've spent your whole life caring for others, showing up, working hard, making it through. Now, it's your turn to care for yourself. Not later, not someday, now. Because independence is not a destination, it's a daily practice. It's built in the small decisions you make each morning, in the way you speak to yourself when things get hard, in the courage it takes to ask for help, not as a sign of weakness, but as a declaration that your life is still worth investing in. So, here's what I hope you remember. You are strong, even when you feel tired. You are wise, even when you forget. You are loved, even when you feel alone. And most of all, you are capable. Capable of taking charge of your health. Capable of making new choices. Capable of building a life that feels full, not in spite of your age, but because of the wisdom and strength you've gained from it. There is still so much waiting for you. So much laughter. So much beauty. So many moments that can make your heart swell with joy. But you have to say yes. Yes to your body, even if it moves slower than it used to. Yes to your mind, even if it takes a little longer to remember. Yes to your life, exactly as it is right now. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going. Step by step, day by day, breath by breath. Because independence isn't something that fades unless you let it. And now that you've seen just how much power you still hold, the choice is yours. So go ahead, stand tall, smile to yourself, and take that next brave step forward. This is your life, and it's still yours to live fully, freely, and with all the fire that's still burning inside you.
And as you move forward, carrying that fire, remember it's never too late to rewrite the story you tell yourself. Too many people after 70 start whispering things in their own mind they would never say to someone they love. They say, "I'm too old for that. I can't do this anymore. No one needs me now." But none of those thoughts are facts. They're just echoes. Echoes of a world that doesn't always know how to value experience. Echoes of fears that don't belong to you. You know what the truth is? You're not too old. You are seasoned. You are resilient. You've faced more than most people know, and you've come out stronger every single time. And that strength, it didn't vanish with age. It's still there, sometimes quiet, sometimes hidden behind sore joints or a tired mind, but always there. So from now on, speak to yourself the way you would to a dear friend. Say, "I am learning. I am growing. I am allowed to start again." Because you are. You're allowed to create a new routine. You're allowed to let go of things that no longer serve you. You're allowed to ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you're smart enough to know that independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means choosing what you need to stay well and free. You're allowed to rest without guilt, to laugh until your cheeks hurt, to cry when the weight gets heavy, and then pick yourself up with compassion, not shame. You're allowed to evolve, and as you do, the people around you will see it too. Your children, your neighbors, your friends. They will see your effort. They'll see the way you refuse to give up on yourself. And whether you realize it or not, you will be leading by example. Because independence after 70 isn't just for you. It's for everyone who looks at you and thinks, if they can do it, maybe I can too. And that's how change ripples outward. One brave step, one conscious choice, one act of self-respect, until your life once again feels like it belongs fully to you. So, what now? Now you get to decide. What's one small thing you'll do today to reclaim your independence? Will you go for a short walk? Will you call someone who brings you joy? Will you stretch your arms toward the sky and breathe in the air like you deserve every ounce of peace? Whatever it is, let it come from love, not fear. Let it be a gift you give to your future self, because that self, a year from now, 10 years from now, will look back at this moment and say, that's when everything started to shift. That's when you stopped shrinking. That's when you stopped waiting. That's when you decided to live on your terms. And from that place, that quiet, powerful place of self-commitment, there is no limit to what you can still experience, still enjoy, still offer. You are not invisible. You are not finished. You are a masterpiece in progress. And this chapter of your life, this chapter where you rise, rebuild, and reimagine what it means to be you, might just be the most inspiring one yet. So go forward, with courage, with softness, with strength, and above all, with the deep, unshakable knowing that you are still the author of your own story. And this story, it's only just beginning.
Thank you for being here today, for taking this time for yourself. What we've shared isn't just a list of reminders. It's a call to reclaim what's already yours, your strength, your purpose, your voice, your independence. You are not alone on this journey. Every step you take toward living fully, no matter your age, is a step worth celebrating. So if this message spoke to you, if it reminded you of your worth, or helped you see your future with more hope, consider joining our community. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share it with someone you care about. Here at Health World 365, we're here to walk with you every day, in every season of life, with support, inspiration, and real conversations that matter. Your best years aren't behind you, they're still unfolding. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and most of all, stay true to yourself.